Hey guys, this video is going to be about a viewer asking me what are the Bantus of South Africa. We already been talking about the Khoisan groups, right? Now people want to know who are the Bantu. I'm still researching, but I can give you some videos of what I think they could be. All right. So we're gonna start off with Esau. Alright, we'll make this quick and we'll get to the next part. Edom is the name which was given to Esau, the firstborn son of Isaac, on the day he sold his birthright to Jacob for a mess of pottage, the reddish color of which gives his name Edom. Keyword Edom. People argue Esau's white, but it's ruddy, right? What Adam described as ruddy. Edom, right? The country which was subsequently inhabited by Esau and his descendants were called the Field of Edom. Alright, we know that, right? Now we go down here. Right? If we can find it. Use of the name. The name of Edom is used by the Talmudists for the Roman Empire, and they apply it to Rome every passage of the Bible referring to Edom or to Esau. In Leviticus Rabbah, Rome, under the name Edom, is compared to a boar. Right? And the symbolic name Seir was used by the poets of the Middle Ages not only for Rome, but for Christianity. Let's read it again. The name of Edom, zoom in, is the Talmudists for the Roman Empire, and they apply it to Rome every passage of the Bible referring to Edom or to Esau. In Leviticus Rabbah, Rome under the name Edom is compared to a boar, right? So remember, Esau is compared to a boar. So when you hear the name boar, or no matter if it's spelled B-O-A-R or B-O-E-R, that's Esau or Edom or Rome, right? What do we know about South Africa, right? Who colonized South Africa? South Africa was primarily colonized by the Dutch, starting in 1652, and the British, starting in 1795, who fought for control of the region. The Dutch East India Company established a refreshment station at the Cape of Good Hope, led by Jan van Riebeeck. These settlers became known as Boers, farmers, or Afrikaners, and expanded inland. Right? Now, when you type in Boers, right, you get this Dutch farmers, German, right? However, go to images, see white people. You might think, what they're showing white people? Why would why would they not be the Boer if they're saying they're Boers? Well, here's another thing I understand too. There was a thing called white slavery, white cargo, where British received slaves from Africa that were white, and there's other 19 books on slaves being white. And if you didn't know, these people were enslaved too. Not today, but now, they were enslaved. You can see them wearing overall outfits. All these outfits are cheap, right? Cheap outfits, right? So, yeah. So, right? So, since you already know about white slavery, let's figure out these other things, right? Now I want to say this other thing right quick, right? I just want to say this other thing right quick. Where is it? I can't find it. Dang it. Dang, bro. I can't find it. Boer King Esau. Alright. Boer King Esau. I just want to mention this right quick. Bella. Hold up a second, guys. Alright. So if you didn't know, I got to mention right quick. Bella, son of Boer, is recognized in the Bible as the first recorded king of Edom, reigning before the kings of Israel. Right? So remember, there's a son of Israel who's rich, right? Leader, king, ruled over Bella. Bella ruled in the land of Edom, right? Who was the son of a Edomite named Boer. So I'm just letting you know this, right? So now we're gonna go to South African tribes. You got the Zulu, Xhosa, Bapedi, Botswana, Basotho, Songa, Swazi, Venda, and South Ndebele. Now there's a tribe in Swazi, Esau, right? Swazi, Eswani. Sounds like Esau, Eswani, right? There's a king named Eswani, right there, right? Harry Forum, right? Yod. That's the next video. Another video, man, right? They're all categorized as Bantu, except for the Khoisan, right? However, right, we also learn that there's a group called the Griqua. All right, so we're gonna type in Griqua people. Griquas are a subgroup of mixed heterogeneous African-speaking nations in South Africa with a unique origin, and they migrated from the Cape in 19th century Namibia, right? So they had Tswana, San, and Xhosa. Now, I'm just guessing, right? Wait, hold up a second. They are racially and culturally mixed people who are primarily descendants from European colonist men and Khoi slaves. Remember? European colonists and Khoi slaves, right? They were also known as Hatinats, right? However, they did genetic studies. Some people that said that. So remember, I gotta read to the beginning, but remember, the Griqua was a mixed race culture in the Cape Colony of South Africa dating back to 17th and 18th centuries. They were also known as Hatinats before Europeans arrived, living in close-knit family groups. The Griqua people's multiple historical backgrounds have been interwoven with apartheid classification and identity politics. They are racially and culturally mixed people who are primarily descendants of European colonist men and Khoi slaves. Remember the Khoi slaves, right? Khoi. You go there. You know. Right. You start seeing Negroes, type in locks. Okay, now it's not showing. Okay, but they are Iudans, right? Khoi slave, they're Iudans. The Greek was traced their forefathers to two clans, the Koks and the Berensi. The first was mainly of Khoi, and the second of mixed European descent. Right? I don't know what that is, but genetic studies, and I don't understand why this man's wearing a suit. He might be wearing a suit because he, just wearing a suit, or he could be the leader, the captain, right? So all Khoi weren't slaves, but it says all of them weren't slaves, I guess. Genetic studies in the 21st century have shown these people also had Tswana, San, and Xhosa ancestry. Remember, Tswana, that is a Bantu group, right? See the nose, Dutch nose? Xhosa, that is another Bantu group, mixed with Khoisan. And then you got the San, where they look like people like here. Like that woman, she looks like the celebrity, I forgot her name, Blackwell. I forgot her name. But later, the Europeans chose mixed race women of the Khoi, right? So, yeah. Now, here's where it's important. When you look up Griqua people, right? Watch this. Boom. You get Andres Waterboer. Waterboer surname. Waterboy. Waterboy. They call him Waterboer in South Africa. We call it Waterboy here. the whites in America, they say that's the what is it, the equipment manager, the water specialist, the water technician, the water distributor. We say Waterboy, get my water, right? That's what we say. They say Waterboer. So when they're saying water bore over there, it's like us saying go get my water boy, right? Who are the water boys usually in the NBA? White, right? They're calling them Boers over there. What? Remember Julius Malema? Remember what he said? That he said What do he say? Kill the boy. Get my water, boy. That's what he's saying. Kill the boy. And we wonder why they call us boy. They say we're boy. They're the boy. You know how they be like, get away over here, boy. Go get my food, boy. Well, actually, that was them. Right? That was them here in America and in North Africa and in South Africa. Waterboy. Go water boy. Right? Now this surname doesn't belong to white people. It belongs to us. It belongs to the South Africans, right? The black South Africans. But what I'm saying is that could be. I'm just trying to make a joke correlation of why they call them Boer because of Waterboy. You get it? But yeah. So when we look at the water, Andries Waterboer, right? Was a leader, 1772-1852, was a leader of the captain of the Griqua people. He founded the Waterboer dynasty, of Griqua land west, and led to a split of the Griqua people as the fraction of the Coke and the Barons dynasties migrated to the southeast later to the found Griqua land east. Unlike the majority of the predominantly mixed Griqua people, here we go, Waterboer was a poor bushman. Was a bushman Hatanat? Ayudayan, or maybe Esau, right? Bushman, Hatanat, origin, right? Bushman, he was pure bushman, right? Right? So I mean, he's pure Negro. When they show you Andre Waterboy, they show you this Negro, and then they show you his son. That's not Andre Waterboy, but I'm just saying that's him right there, right? That's a pure Negro from South Africa, right? Then they're gonna show you his son. Who is his son? Nicholas Waterboer, right? Negro, pure Negro. He was the eldest son of Waterboer, who founded the Waterboer dynasty. Look, he's wearing a suit. He might not have been the slave. There were Khoikhoi slaves, which we've shown before, the dreadlocks and the yellow skin, right? But he has a suit on. He could just be wearing a suit because he got money now and came out of slavery early, but he came from the Waterboer. He founded a dynasty. I don't think this was a slave. So, yeah, we got last name Waterboer, Waterboy, right? So, and then they trying to paint him white. Come on now. All right, so, then, right, Boer, right? Watch this. You go to, just go on Facebook. I'm sorry for anyone if you're being shown here. I will take it down. Just mess me. I'll take it down. But it's funny. None of these people know me. But look, you type in John Boer, you get a Negro face, John Boer. And the viewer asked me, who are the Bantus? I'm trying to tell you who the real Boer is. You type John Boer, bingo, John Boer. John De Boer. Look, another De Boer. John Boer, De Boer, Negroes. Look at this, man. A bunch of Negroes. You got five. I found 5 Negroes with De Boer. Now let's put Waterboer. Got a Negro right here named John Waterboer. He could be Ayudayan. You never know. I'm just trying to let you know. Like, remember, the colors of South Africa were owned by Dutch too. So remember, a lot of Ayudayans or Israelites can be carrying the Black Dutch name, but I don't think all of these people are Israelites. Look, Jane Waterboer, right? Now you have a fake one. That's a Negro. There go a white dude. A black, yeah. It was a white dude, and they all live in Western Cape, South Africa. Look, Waterboer. Jan Waterboer. That's a Negro. He might have been owned, but he has a Dutch nose. If you go sleep, got a Dutch nose. So I shouldn't be going to people's profile. But I'm just trying to prove a point, right? Waterboer. So you got black people walking around with the last name Boer, right? They could be owned. They could have been owned by. But I'm just trying to. We don't know how they got their last name. Right now, they are the Dutch. They are the Dutch. And then right, you just type in Waterboer surname, right? The Waterboer surname is primarily recognized in South African history, associated with the Griqua people and rooted in Dutch origins, meaning water former, right? Its family linked to Andries Waterboer and his son Nicholas, who are Negroes. Negroes. We learned Andries is a pure Sandman, a Negro, and his son Nicholas Waterboer, Negro. So you have Negroes with the last name Boer from the Waterboer dynasty. And I hope Lex will go into this. The Waterboer dynasty. I'm going to go into it too. But the Waterboer dynasty. Man, I wish, the other YouTuber was back. Waterboer. Ooh, we're going to look into it. Waterboer family. See what that is, right? That, And then you got other surnames. So basically, all you got to do is type surname ending with Boer, right? You get Den Boer, De Boer, Nisha Boer. Let's see what we can find with this. Right? You go to Facebook. It's so easy. And yes, I'm going to do this because I have the ability to. I mean, I can do anything I want. Who's going to stop me? Let me chill out. Right, you got John, that's a white dude. Now they're showing white people for some reason. All you got to do is find a black man named John. John De Boer. Now we're going to type David. Okay, we can't find any Negroes' last name. Jabor. I have no idea. Okay, now it's not showing anything. But when you type David De Boer, right? You start getting Negroes. Look, David. Look, listen. Now this. I think this dude from America. His name is a black dude named last name Boer. David De Boer, Netherlands. It's a black dude named David De Boer, Netherlands. Now I think he's half white, but I'm just saying you got Negro's last name Boer, and you're trying to wonder where are the Boer today. I just showed you. Right here. We're gonna read this. We're gonna read this another video. It may video too long. But I'm going to show you one last thing. All right, so for, okay, what I got to type? Okay, we're going to end it right. I don't want to, but I want to put this in here too, though. Okay. Black Boers. South Africa. Oh my gosh. So Boer is a Dutch word meaning farmer, historically identifying white Africans speaking descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers in South Africa. While primarily a white demographic, black Africans and colors were involved in Boer commandos as labor servants and adjutants, wagon assistants, rather than owners of the Boer. Right? So basically there was a Boer war where there were black men that helped the Boer fight. But why would they help them fight? So if how could they not be Boers if there's black men walking around with the last name Boer? You get what I'm saying? So you have black people fighting the Boer War, right? And then watch this. Abraham Abraham. Oh my gosh. Esau, South Africa. Bro, okay. Esau, a colored Englishman living in Calvinia in the Western Cape, collaborated with the British by organizing a group of spies, snoops, and informers who kept tabs on the. Oh my gosh! This might get taken down. In the suspect Boers in the vicinity. We might make another video on this too. We're just trying to prove this video that Boer is not applied to the white person. It's the black person. Yes, I'm a human. But yeah, you have a man named Abraham Esau. And we're going to show you what he looked like. Right? Go right here. There we go. Boom! Abraham Esau was a blacksmith in the Calvinia during the Anglo-Boer South African War. So remember, we just proved there's a black man named, and we're going to look into Abraham Esau, Negro. And there's black people named with the last name Boer. Right? We're going to read about this too. So yeah, we just proved part 1 of how my bad. Black South Africans are the Dutch. Right?